What up?
What's up, brother?
Long weekend.
Yeah, man. Long and good weekend. On long time ago that we had a Zoom meeting, right?
Yeah, man. Long time we had a Zoom meeting and long time we got to chill in person.
Yes. Even if we have just 4 hours in between Miami and Tampa, but it's busy, right?
Busy,
In
man.
a good way.
In a good way. I mean,
Yes.
we're both very busy. Once you move out of town, it's not that easy sometimes to meet up, but it's all good. We met up. We had a good weekend. You pulled
Yes.
up on me in Clearwater, so that was fun.
Yeah, man, it was a nice event, man. A lot of good, nice people. I see a t-shirt all day running. Yes.
Clearwater
Nice,
Marathon.
clear water. And
I'm
you did
repping
it.
it. I'm repping it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So for those who don't know, we had the Clearwater Marathon this past weekend with All Day Running Co. I ran my first marathon. I did it just under 4 hours. And of course, Constantine showed up, support, and we had a good time. We're gonna get into all the details. We did some ice baths, some saunas,
And some ocean.
some ocean, fire pits, smoothies,
Yeah.
um, good vibes, networking. I mean, all the things that we do, you know.
Yes. Yeah, man. I mean, I can introduce myself quick for those I don't know who don't know me, right? So,
Yes.
my name is Constantin. I live in Tampa, work in Tampa, and work at Pride Strength Training. So we're mostly focusing on, or like specialize in assessments too, from beginner to athlete, from adult to from kids to adults. So, we can talk about today is also like after you run, right? And what is important, I think, for every runner, um, to know like what can you do after run, before run, um, everything, or like when you explain just what happened to you and what helped you to,
Yeah.
recover faster, or yeah,
Yeah. So first off, I want to start off by saying I'm not an elite runner. I'm an average runner, recreational runner. I yeah, my first marathon. I've done multiple half marathons. This is my first marathon. I have done training. I have been training. I haven't done full out training like if you were trying to race, like if you're trying to race to compete and get a crazy good time. So there's other steps that involve that I know about that I haven't done. But I can tell you from running a marathon, it is tough. It's a lot of hours on your feet. 4 hours on your feet. The fastest runner in the world ran it in like under 2 hours. Imagine that.
that's crazy.
That's half of the time that I ran.
Just like one round, right?
One
Like two
round,
rounds in one. So
bro. So I
that's
mean,
crazy.
but the average runner in the world, say male, female, the average time would be around maybe 4 hours and 30 minutes to like maybe 5 hours or so. Just to
Mm.
put it in perspective. But there's no easy way around it. You gotta put the work in, you gotta put the time in. You have to run. I mean, you have to get your feet
Yeah.
used to being on the pavement. You gotta get your joints used to pounding the ground. You gotta do some strength training. And yeah, I mean, as you know, after the marathon, I was super dizzy. I couldn't even like sit up. I threw up. And it's because I'm still learning on what to do and what not to do. I wasn't taking in enough sugar. Um,
Electrolytes and
electrolytes, yeah, like
uh,
it's a few things that I might have took too much water too fast. So like it's
mm,
a balance. So um now I ain't gonna lie, I did some cryo. So the next day I did cryotherapy. I did some
mm,
localized cryo on my knees and my thighs that helped me out. I've been stretching and I'm already almost back. Was it 2, 3 days? I'm already almost back. I'm still a little sore. Went to the gym
mm.
today, ran 1 mile, just to loosen up. Feel good. But you probably know more than me about certain routines, mobility. I think the mobility work is
Yeah.
important. Something I haven't been doing a lot, like mobility work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, important is like first to know like what are good mobility exercises you can do, right, and stretches. Then also like for runners, are the hamstrings very important, right? Hamstrings, Achilles, so everything what um, has to do with specific running movements. There are some exercises you can do, but mostly it's nicer to see on like in person, or if I have a picture or videos what I can do, or maybe even with you next time when you come over to the place, right? But as a runner, it's important like to work on the hamstrings because it's mostly quadriceps dominant, right?
Yeah.
Same thing for other sports or soccer players, example. So it's important to do the work there, work on ankle stability, do exercises, for example, balance. Same thing for knee mobility, ankle mobility, hip mobility. If you just do like one or two exercises for each joint, for example, before your workout, you can reduce the risk of getting injured, right? And have also like a smoother run, and that your muscles also function in the full range of motion how they should function. That's really important. That's why you include your stretchings, especially when you have or had a run. Best time is really after, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes after your run to do some light stretchings to relax the muscles, right? To not get cramps more, like reduce the fatigueness and all this. An ice bath, right, in this case helps
Yeah.
too. And then carbohydrates back, to fill the, the carbohydrates into the muscles again. So there's some things you can do for sure. And what we do here is also like those assessments, right? When I mentioned some stuff we do here is like to test when it comes to changing and break and changing directions, for example. We have some assessments how we can show you how you can prevent injuries in the future, especially when it comes to running, ACLs, for example, every other. Any other hip injuries, knee injuries, ankle injuries, like what you wanted to avoid, is something we can take a look into with our assessments and get a really good picture and data to see what could help you and what could you do for the future to make it better, right?
Mm.
That's why I look also forward to the day when you come over to the testings to show also other people how this works and that they can
Yeah,
benefit from this, right?
for sure. I'm looking forward
Um,
to that.
yeah. So, I mean, if there are specific things, it's always um, to do with practice, right? So it has to be always in person mostly. So I can talk about all this stuff, but like you have to do it, you have to repeat it, you have to see how
Yeah.
it works, and then do it with your training. And maybe there's also a good idea to give you some exercises, for example, and you just see how you progress with this
Yeah.
over time and
Yeah.
how it makes you running better, for example.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so what do you think? Because I study a lot of runners now. Like I look up,
Mm.
I watch every day. I'm learning something. They say it's not like I don't know if it's static stretching. I don't know the term they use, but
Hmm.
overstretching before a race or run is not good. Like you
Yeah.
don't want to get your muscles too relaxed, right?
Yeah, because I mean, you also damage the muscle in a way if you do a very intense static stretch, for example, not a dynamic stretch, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like you have like micro, let's say tears or something in your muscles, right? Like super small um, tears in your muscles. So you have to be careful that you don't overdo it. So that's why it's better to do mobility and some dynamic stretches before
yeah,
you go into running. A good warm up, right? And then after, where your muscles are so tight, then you can go more into like a static stretch. But I say a 1 to 10 from intensity for somebody who's a beginner, I would always stay in the middle of this range, and then increase if you feel it's needed, and it still feels like a stretch, but not like doesn't starts hurting. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Also, man, a pain that I felt really strong was my lower back. after like,
This can come from glutes sometimes also.
yeah, right. It's all connected,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's something
So
I realize I need to work because after a mile, like, I don't know, 15 or so, that lower back pain was almost worse than the cramp, almost, my thighs.
everything tied up. So that's why, especially here, it's also important to stretch your hands, stretch your glutes. And if you don't have the right glute activation, what is also really important for runners, glute activation, hamstring, right? Everything, what is the backside of your body. If you do, for example, some exercise with like resistant bands, like the small bands,
Yeah, yeah. I need to get
put it
those.
around your knees or your ankles. Do like, for example, monster walks or like lateral steps and this kind of stuff. Abductions, right? Everything where you can also activate the small gluteus muscle, the big one. Um, so it's mostly about activation and that you also use the muscle, because if you don't use the muscle, then your body's compensating with other muscles, and
Yeah.
then this is where you get the pain in your
Yep.
knees or somewhere else.
Exactly. I think that's what happened to me on my last Hell on the Hill Maine, the half
Mm.
marathon up and down the hill. I was using muscles that I never used before because there's no hills here. I couldn't
Yeah,
train
you're not
down
used to it.
in Miami. So that was even worse. I don't know if I told you that was even worse than the full as far as
Yeah.
pain and cramps go.
Mm.
Just crazy, man.
Yeah, especially when it goes up and like down, where you the worst is like not going up; it's more like going down. This is where you have the most pressure
Yeah,
and
yeah.
on your knees, because you have to brake, and your weight is always pushing your joints, and this
And it's
makes
crazy because
it
it
painful.
feels better at first going down because when you're going up, it's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah.
You feel it like,
This
oh, but going down,
fatigueness in your legs.
yeah, fatigue. But then when you're
uh,
going down, it feels easier, but it's doing more damage.
yeah, yeah. It's harder because you have to brake all the time when you and stop. Right, you decelerate most of the time. You know.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy, man. So yeah, man, we got a lot to do, man. We got a lot. We got to see each other more. Hopefully, we can both link up for an event.
Yeah.
That would be dope. Get you back into running.
Yeah, I know. For me the same thing. Like now, after my stuff with my knees and ankle, I'm starting to run maybe 20, 30 minutes a day. You know, um,
It's
get
good.
something in easy. I mean, I also with more weight, right? So I have
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
220 pounds almost or something. So I have to get a
Mm.
little bit lighter.
By the way, I weighed myself. My
Yeah.
goodness, I weighed myself when I was at the cryo. I
Uh,
lost a lot of weight, bro. I'm at.
how much?
It said 168.
168.
I never
Yeah.
been that low, but I mean, my average weight typically, like last year around the same time, 185. I've always fluctuated between like 180, 185. Once I started running, I dropped down to the 176, 177. And then now I weighed myself yesterday, 168, bro. That's crazy.
We have to
So
get some carbs in.
yeah, I don't like that weight too much, to be honest. It's a little too,
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel great. I'm light, but I don't
Yeah.
like.
Important is also for you like to remember always that if you lose too fast weight, right, and your calorie deficit is too high because of your activity and everything, you will lose muscle mass.
Oh, I lost it for
You
sure.
know, and to build this muscle mass up, it takes you quite of time, right? Especially when you don't do much weightlifting, right, or
Hmm.
focusing more on running. But
Yeah.
you have to keep the balance because if you lose muscle mass, your risk of injury is much higher, especially when it comes to your joints and your tendons, ligaments, right? So that's why it's important to keep this up and maintain those muscle mass. So important is here to eat enough protein, you know. So you should have at least 180 gram or 200 gram a day on protein on a
which
daily
I'm
basis.
which I'm definitely not hitting.
Yeah, and you have to, because think about it. If you don't eat enough or even calories or protein, your recovery takes more time, and your ligaments, tendons, they can recover, right? So they are built up with this. So you need protein either way. So to make it better, and if it makes you better and recover better, you will also get better in running, get better in recovery. So you get better results in the long term. You know.
Yeah, I haven't been taking a lot of. I've been, I eat, but my protein shakes is something I haven't been doing. Like get that extra, say 60 grams of protein two a day or something like that. I haven't been doing that at all
And
for
you
the
have to
past few
create, you have
weeks.
to do habits, and you have creating new habits. You
Yeah,
know,
but now the
like it's
training's
important,
over.
man.
Yeah, the training's over. I'm like, I'm ready to, I don't know, figure out what's next. I don't have to run as much now. The running does take a big toll on me. I'm still gonna train, but now I want to definitely get my weight up.
Yeah,
And not heavy, heavy, just at least 10 more pounds
no,
back to,
yeah, and muscle mass,
muscle.
muscle.
I'm like a little shrimp.
Like what like a really big problem is from a lot of athletes, or what I see also here, like in a kind of age, yeah, you will perform good. You have enough testosterone, your growth hormones, right, and everything. Like, but maybe yeah, they perform good, but they could perform better.
Yeah,
They don't watch their nutrition. They don't even know what to eat and how to eat or when to eat, right? But if you would start from the beginning with nutrition, because this is the basic, your body is made of nutrition.
yeah,
So why would you not give your body what he needs to function right? You
yeah.
know? And this is a problem for a lot of people or a lot of athletes, that they wonder why they don't recover, why they don't get stronger faster, um, or build more muscle mass and mass overall, right? I mean, a beginner who just starts working out, he can even increase his muscle mass without having like a huge calorie like overload on calories, right? But there comes a time where you get older and your testosterone production uh, stays lower, or like it's gets lower, right? So it doesn't grow and grow and grow, and then it's important to go into nutrition. So I would even not take any supplements before I even have reach my full potential before I take other substance, you know?
So I have a question. This is something a little different. I don't think we ever spoke about this.
Mm,
What do you think as far as plant-based diet
mm.
versus regular diet? And I'm asking you because I follow some people that are the world's strongest man is all plant-based. And this other guy I follow, his name's Rich Roll. He's an endurance athlete. He's all plant-based. And they say the benefits of, I mean, there's not one's
I
better
can
than
tell
the
you
other.
something.
There's not, yeah, I'm not asking you to say what's better or what's not. I'm just saying, what do you think as
No,
far as, yeah,
I don't want to say what better, what's not, and what should you do, what shouldn't you not
yeah,
do. At
no,
the end, you go with what you feel better, right?
yeah, yeah,
And if it has a benefit for you, go for it if you feel fine. But if you understand the ATP system, right, in your body, how the body takes the energy, and you think about a plant-based food is mostly carbohydrates, right? So it's hard for plant-based to get this kind of easy protein, like if you eat meat and fish and this kind of stuff, right?
yeah, yeah,
So somebody who's really active, is running a lot or doing powerlifting, needs a lot of carbohydrates, right? So of course this person would burn all the carbohydrates easier than a person who maybe just goes to the gym one or twice a week or not at all. Because if you know some people who are plant-based, most of them are overweighted, or if it's a woman, they are always in a deficit most of the time, right? And don't maybe eat this kind of overload on carbohydrates because maybe they eat a lot of tofu and some cashew yogurts, or uh, you know lentils. Even
yeah.
they have carbohydrates, but the thing is, protein from a plant is not the same as an animal protein. So an animal protein it's richer when it comes to amino acids availability. It's leaner, you know. So I mean, I'm a fan of mixed. Have
Yeah,
both. Have
yeah,
some lentils, have beans, but have also meat, man. Have fish and all this kind of stuff. There's a reason why God put us all the plants and animals on this planet, right? So there's a benefit and there's a reason why it works. And I tried both sides and I tried many other diets too.
yeah,
Um, and if you see studies or movies where they talk about plant-based is better and everybody should go vegan and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's your decision. If you feel like this is the right fit for you and it works for you, it's fine. It works for you. But you have also a lot of people who did this for a long time and they got sick.
mm.
You know what I mean?
So
And
yeah,
they turned back to eating meat again.
yeah.
So,
So it's just
and then
whatever
you
works
have
for
to,
you.
yeah, whatever works for you. But honestly, like, if you want to build muscles, yeah, I know people who got lean with a plant-based diet, but then it's a question: how much protein do you need in a plant-based diet, and then how much carbohydrates do you have? So you have to burn all those carbohydrates, or you are really tall, or you are very active to burn all this energy to have even a deficit. So and then it gets pretty hard for you, I think, to maintain this muscle mass, especially when you go on a diet. So you have to take extra supplements, have to drink protein shakes, has to take um, specific amino acids, leucine, for example, right? Um, but then it's a question why we have to supplement so much from the extern when we can do it with the normal nutritional diet, with normal nutritions we have available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and if you know how the body functions, then there's no way uh, to say vegan or plant based is better than eating meat.
Okay.
You know?
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. No, for sure. I just wanted to hear your take because I'm doing a little bit of both. Um,
Yeah.
I'm experimenting, and yeah. Hey, did you see the comment in the on your page about the ice bath?
From this guy,
Yeah, he said like something about
like no benefits or something.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I
uh,
think he hasn't explained what he especially means. I think he was because I saw him like I think he's more like in this kind of bodybuilding, so
Ah,
hypertrophy thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So if it comes to bodybuilding and you do an ice bath right after, it is not beneficial for your growth hormones. Like when it comes um, to stimulate your body to grow more muscles, right? Muscle mass. Um, but if it comes to recovery for endurance or for athletes or to just improve the recovery, then it makes sense to do. You know,
yeah, yeah. I think he was mentioning Brock Lesnar. Was he a
I don't
wrestler?
know Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I don't think he's a wrestler or something. I'm like, what does that have to do? That's one
Yeah, I mean,
person.
and then also like how. Well, that's the thing about what most of the people, what happens to most of the people. They just listen to other people instead of making their researches.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest point. So the same thing is for nutrition. If you know how ATP system works, just Google or go on YouTube and put how does ATP works. So if you know how this works, then you know even better what to eat and what makes sense to eat, and like certain times if it comes to before workout, after workout, during your workout. So once you have this and you know how it works, then it's much easier for you to understand and to do it. But if I just listen to somebody because he says this, and then other people say the same, and then other people say something different, and then this is a point where I feel like both sides don't know, so I have to make my own researches, or just one side really knows and the other side not. But um, yeah, so this
I
is
love
just my
I love it.
opinion.
I love it. I love the ice bath. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, man. That seems like with the time is we don't have that much time left.
yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? We covered a lot of topics. That was good.
Man. I mean, if people are there, who have questions to you or about something else, at the end, we all just share experience. I don't know everything. I learn even if I have 20 years of experience already, but it's my experience, right? I'm still learning.
Mhm.
I'm always open for things. Um, if we can help others with the knowledge you already have
Mhm.
to make them better in their daily life, whatever they do, yeah, then just tune in and listen to what we talk about. But I don't want to put myself here like, hey, you have to do this like this or that. I just want people also to just think about and get a different perspective
Yeah.
and not just say, hey, that's just gray and that's just black or white. It's like,
No, I like that. I'm the same way. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not a elite runner. I'm average runner. I know what I know from my experiences. I don't claim to know everything, and that's why I'm talking to you to learn more.
yeah,
And whatever I say, I learn from somebody else or somebody close or somebody an elite athlete, whatever. I'm just sharing my knowledge and my experience. So
yeah,
yeah, we're all here to grow and learn. And that's that, man.
yeah, man.
Good talking to you, of course.
Yes, brother. So looking forward next time when you come over, and then we will make some nice clips here,
I want to do that
right?
soon. I don't know. I need to do that. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to that for myself. I know there's some things I
yeah.
need to improve.
We can find out everything, man. So acceleration, deceleration, like jumping, force plates. We have the
Everything.
Dari motion system, everything here. So I can give you answers to mostly everything
So
in your
that's it.
body.
Coach Constantine. What's your Instagram? Coach underscore Constantine?
Uh,
Is it? Okay.
yeah, just Coach Constantin. I think there's an under
Yeah, you got to put the
thing, but
underscore. And
I mean
he's
it's
got,
fine. If you just put this here, you will find it. I think there's nobody else who calls him Coach Constantin.
so that's the man right there. And then
Yeah,
me,
man.
I'm at JordanH.X. And yeah, man, good talking to you, brother. We talk soon.
Yes, brother. Have a good one.
All
See you
right,
next
bro.
time.
All right, bro.
Bye bye.
Peace.